months ago, I made a new friend. Right when I needed it. Best friend's been there. He's been through it all before me. What happened next is truly for the books. This man opened his heart, he opened his heart to me. He opened his heart for you. So no matter what, no matter what, you've got to roll. Yeah, you can't go slow. Get through this time we're living in. Get your updates from Wages World. You may find yourself in the mirror, quoting yourself, you're looking for answers. Get your space weather from Wages World. The Wages World. Go get it all from Wages World. You check it, you gotta see me coming at me. Gotta get on by 3, gotta tell the world, get ready, cause you don't know what's coming. If we're gonna shut down, no, but we're gonna give it to you. If we can, we're going to be prepared.
Hey guys, what's up? Somebody give me a 5 for 5 in there if you would, please. I know this is kind of an odd time to be doing a live stream, but it's really the only time I got right now. So I just want to get this out here to you guys and give you guys a little bit of information about what's going on. And cool. Thanks, Julie. Thanks, Jess, Anna, Mary. RS50 150. That's right. All right, guys. So yeah, we got CMEs, calls from the solar flares and stuff that happened this past week, and we're going to go over that in just a second here. But as always, we're going to start here with the Schumann tool. What you're seeing here, guys, is, a few spikes. I mean, it's really pretty active, I have to say. Even when it's not really seeing the quote-unquote spiking, you're still getting frequency at those hertz levels, just not as intense. You see all this, haze stuff you got going on there. Plus, we had a little bit of a data drop out here, right here, the black here. It was very short-lived, probably 15, 20 minutes. Could have had a thunderstorm or something over there where they have this tool in Russia. Who knows? There's a lot of things that could, that's just saying, all good for, sorry, Taylor, all good for audio and video. I didn't know what it meant either until people started throwing it out there on me. I didn't know what that meant. I just was always checking for an audio and a video check, but that's what that is. So, but anyway, I don't see too many. I don't think I got any mods in here right now. So please, guys, don't be crazy down there in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and put it away so I can get through this for you guys. If there are any mods in here, please, at least make yourself known. Let everybody know you're here and all that kind of thing. Everybody I'm seeing in here right now, it doesn't. I know I recognize a lot of you guys here, and I know you guys never ever give me issues. But I just want to, make sure that nobody's getting attacked or anything when I'm not looking at it. So I'm going to put it away. So if somebody gets attacked or whatever, I'll address it when I get back. So, yeah, you're awesome, Anna. I mean, all you guys are. AB, Titch, light up the dark. We are the light. Yep, exactly. Okay. Oh, I ain't talking about being good, Kiwi. I just don't want somebody else being, attacking each other. So that's really my main concern. Hey, Sid, what's going on, brother? You're the only mod in here right now, but the guys you got in here should, they're good people, so I don't look to see any problems. I'm going to go ahead and drop this chat out, though, guys, so I can get through this. All right, so again, guys, with the Schumann, please go watch Verte's channel. Sid, if you want to drop his link in there, you can, if you have it. He's in my description box also. So, if you guys want to check him out, he really is intelligent when it comes to this. Okay? He knows this. He really does. So, but if you're having issues with like ringing in your ears or not really feeling all that well, guys, people are sensitive to this. There's a lot of studies. Okay? I'm not going to go over all that again right now, but CMEs and solar flares and stuff, they can affect our health too and our mentality. It's being directly correlated now that, when we're getting hit with these bigger ones, it can actually help develop tropical systems. It adds electrons to our atmosphere. Okay, like when we're getting a big solar wind stream, and it increases lightning. That's, you can go look at the data and you can see it. When we're getting a lot of solar activity, lightning increases. So, intensity and frequency. So that's all part of it, right? I mean, 50 years ago, they really weren't talking about this hardly at all. Space weather, period. They're now trying to get it into the, regular news stations and stuff. There's a girl, a woman out there. She's I don't know her exact degree that she holds or what she exact name for her profession is, but I know she teaches and stuff. It's Tamitha Scove, and she's been on the Weather Channel and stuff talking about space weather. She has a YouTube channel. You guys should go check it out because she's very intelligent in what she's talking about. She knows the sun. She knows space weather. Okay, so I would go. You can learn a lot. Sometimes she'll do like a 3-hour, almost like a class, but it's more relaxed setting, and she's teaching a lot about the sun and about how space weather works. Just from watching her, I've learned a lot. So I would encourage everybody to go check her out. But anyway, we're going to move on. Obviously, we're talking about these solar flares with the CMEs that come with it. This time, anyway. You can see right here they're predicting, right? They're forecasting. This is NOAA's forecast model, and G1 for today. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say this. I think that this stuff is starting to arrive now, which would put it here just a little bit early for their forecasting, but it would actually show up. If it's like starting to show up now, this is actually kind of when I would have expected it to. Because in my opinion, they were lagging behind here a little bit. And again, it's just an opinion, just from what I've seen in my observations, but, and there is like a 7-hour window they give them here as far as a leeway of their forecasting, plus or minus 7 hours of arrival, okay, of these events that we're seeing. But as you can see here, guys, the 26th, they're saying G2. Now, I will say this. They don't slap those numbers up on here like this unless they really think they're going to get there. Okay? They're more apt to not even show it and us get one, like what happened last time. The last CME impact we had from that double burst right in the front, they weren't forecasting anything. I mean, it was 2s and 1s all the way across the board. And we got hit with that. It shot us up to a KP of 5. We went into geomagnetic storm levels, and all of a sudden they had to go back and correct their forecasting. So that's just what happens sometimes. But at the same time, this is a good test for Earth's magnetic field just to see where we're kind of at. I'm really curious on how this is really going to impact us. Are we going to get to G2? Or are we going to get bigger? Or is it going to kind of come in a little bit smaller? Now, if it comes in sooner, like it might be coming in now, and I'll show you why I think that here in just a second, it could be a little stronger because that means it would be moving faster and than what their forecasting models are showing. So, if you guys ever go over here, you can just click these arrows, and it basically gives you a 3-day thing. So, they're saying geomagnetic storms for 3 days in a row. You can see it here. Now, again, I'm not holding my hat just to a G2 or hanging my hat just on a G2. I do think there's a decent chance we could get to a G3. I really do. Just for the mere fact of how it's all playing out. But you can see how the flaring itself is actually starting to taper off some. And I'll show you why I think that is too here in just a second. But you see our geomagnetic activity right now? We're really, really low. So as soon as this stuff starts hitting, it's going to spike up pretty quick. And, this is actually what we would want to see. We would want it down here for kind of like a blank slate to see where we're at as far as how we're going to handle this new sun cycle. And what's going on. Now, I was saying for a long time, listen, this is the most dangerous time early on in the sun cycle when, historically our magnetic field is just a little bit weaker anyway because the sun itself was just waking back up and, it helps strengthen and keep our magnetic field strong. The sun helps protect us from the sun. And I've said that a lot. Now, here's a visible graphic here of that sunspot. Notice this. Okay, believe it or not, this here is actually probably going to help stabilize this. And that might be what's going on here, and that might be why it is starting to, not flare as much. And the reason why is this is always searching for, the opposite polarity to make a connection line. And when it doesn't have a very strong connection and then it crosses, it's when it really flares and blows out. So it needs like an opposite, basically, is what I'm saying. You can see these other little ones starting to show up too. Let me zoom in a little bit more. See? And it's always been this leading edge of this sunspot that's been flaring, even when it was off the edge over here, because none of this other stuff was there. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't mean to do that. But anyway, here's a first look at it. Now, listen, guys, like I said, it's starting to rotate off anyway. It still is right in front of us. So if it flares, we're still going to get issues. But something else, this one here is now popping off little small ones. And this down here was too, believe it or not. Just a little active area was just little pops. Not big ones, but it's still activity. And that's why I'm reporting on it. Everybody all right in there? Just checking. Just checking. Everybody good? I think Sid's holding it down in there with you guys, right? Oh, Sid's got that big blue wrench in his hand. Y'all gotta be careful. Anyway, I'm just kidding, by the way. So anyway, as we get moving here, this is right here is why I think we may be starting to see the initial impacts of these CMEs right now. Okay, why the heck is it doing that? What the heck is it doing? That's stupid. Hold on. Let me get that back up here. I don't know why it wasn't letting me shrink it back down. Okay, so look right here. Everything reacted right here. Okay, now that when it does it like that there is a possibility that is like a tool anomaly that could have happened. But I don't think it was, because even after that you started seeing things start moving. And so what I'm saying here is that I do think that this may be the beginning, because we do see a lot of times see a density buildup, which is what this orange line is. right before we get impacted with these CMEs, or even a coronal hole stream. Now, just like it should, for the most part, the solar wind speed is going to drop out a little bit. But notice here on the end, you see that? See how it's starting to come back up? It wasn't just for a second either. I mean, it's actually on an incline right now. So I think this is probably, and this is just an observation, I can't say for sure, that this is probably the beginnings of what we're going to be dealing with today, later on, and maybe here in just a few hours. But you can see the BZ, the phi angle, everything moved right there. And, you know, the BZ is still, it came back to pretty much zero again. You know, it's down to what's it at? Like a -2 or something? Yeah. So -6 is what we look for on that, guys. And if it gets there, it just means our angle is correct, okay, to get the energy or the CME to really, or solar wind, charged particles, all those things. It comes in a lot easier when that BZ is -6 or greater. So that's why we talk about that. Now, the density itself is up to close to 10, and anything above 4 is above normal. But typically a 10 won't really do much. But our wind speed is low. Okay, we're looking at 316 right now, kilometers per second. And, you know, 300 to 500 is what we consider kind of a normal range. Anything outside of that would be high or low. Now, the temperature is kind of, you know, dropping out a little bit too. So I do think that all this stuff is like a buildup before. This is what happens. You got high dense material there. Hey, Muse, when you got high dense material there and you don't have a strong solar wind strong enough to push it, it starts sitting there. Okay, and it just starts building up. And finally, like with the CME or something, it'll grab it and throw it and just blast us with it. You know, we've seen that before a lot of times. But this is what I kind of would expect to see with the beginnings of a CME. But that's just, you know, again, that's just my own personal observation. I don't have any kind of data to show you to kind of, well, I just showed you some data, but that's my mind thought here. Now, here's our magnetosphere tools. This is velocity here. Sun's off to the left for those that don't know. Let me go ahead and start these movie things here. This is velocity. Now, you can see little waves coming in. This is another reason why I think this could be the beginning of it. So if I back it up, you're going to see right through here, it's going to be a different color. Right there, you see that? And you can see it ripple right through our magnetosphere. Okay, it moves everything as it goes through. We got to understand this is three-dimensional, but this is a two-dimensional model, so it's trying to represent something three-dimensional. Picture like a sheet laying over the Earth, and you grab it right in the middle where the Earth is at, like right here, and pull it towards your nose. Okay? I know it takes a little bit of imagination, but that's kind of what it actually looks like. Or you can take a donut, cut it in half, and that's kind of more like what it looks like too. And the Earth would be in the center of it. What I'm saying is, it's not just one line. I mean, it's a three-dimensional thing we're talking about here. And I've explained that quite a bit, and most people understand it when I explain it like that. If you guys are still having issues trying to understand that, let me know, and I'll try to explain it a different way. But I'll find some more visuals for you that might help you too. But anyway, you see these little waves of things coming in, and even when it doesn't really change color out here, you can still see like smaller ones ripple through. See that? Watch it right here, and it'll ripple through that way on both sides, symmetrically. See that? Okay? And it's moving the direction we would expect it to from left to right, because the sun's off to the left. So nothing really strange there. Now this is density, okay? White is low density, blue is heavy density. And as I move this forward, you're going to see, you know, then we get this little blast coming from that direction. So, you know, and again, research all that too, please. You'll find a lot of different things on that, on why, you know, we get stuff coming from the back. You know, obviously mainstream science has their their definitions, and then a lot of other people have theirs. So, I mean, look at all of it. That's what I say. Try to keep an open mind as much as you can, and then fall where you fall, And that's the kind of way that I've always ran my channel. But anyway, you got this happening right now, but a lot of this is coming from the front right now. Now, this is pressure. Now, you're going to see, you see how this looks like it's kind of tilted? I've shown you guys this before. Now, by the time this time lapse is over, it kind of turns back up forward. You see that? Watch this little part of it over here, this part of the bow shock. It's going to kind of rotate clockwise. So I'm going to go back here. Now watch what it does. See that? Oops. Sorry about that. Sometimes if you grab these slide bars and move them fast, you'll be able to see almost like a flip book, and it'll give you a better visual of what's actually happening there. If it's going real slow, you can't really catch that. See how I kind of pulled it back up, almost like we're directly facing the sun now magnetically. It still does still kind of look like it's, pointed that direction, which is, is what it is. So yeah, here's the Australian model. This would be, density, BZ, wind speed. Now this is representing the bow shock. This is such a simple model, but in my opinion, one of the best ones to look at because of its simplicity. Most people can understand this. When this thing's bouncing back and forth, it's giving you a capture or an image. It's not really a capture, it's data put into a model here. A capture would be like from a photograph. Hey Ax, what's up? I was listening to you a little bit earlier. Sorry I couldn't comment. I was trying to get people in my house to go to sleep. So anyway, you got this going on here, and this is the satellite line on this model. And my guess is when we start getting really blasted here later on, this is going to either come inside the satellite line or get really, really close to it. These kinds of CMEs and stuff that are coming through right now are not really babies, and they're going to pile up on each other. And so we're going to look at that in just a second too. But again, we're still having flaring too, just so you know. I mean, it hasn't stopped flaring altogether. So we're still paying attention to the sun itself. Let me zoom in here. And here's the culprit that's been causing all the issues right now. Watch what it does. Okay, it's still, you see those little bright spots that kind of poke out every once in a while? Those are little itty bitty flares. So let me run that back and see what we can get here. If I'm not mistaken, it's going to show you on the bigger blast right at the beginning. Nope, it didn't do it. Wonder why. Maybe I reset it on accident. Yeah, I probably did. But anyway, this is the most current, capture of that. Here it is on the 131. Now notice that you're seeing little flares over here now too. Okay? You're getting little itty bitty pops over here. And then we've got a couple of them down. I'm not so much worried about this one because it's rotating off. But this one here has a chance to get bigger, grow, and then be right in front of us again. So, yeah. We can't let our guard down is what I'm saying. As far as keeping an eye on it. Can we do anything about this, guys? I get that question a lot. No, we can't. We can't stop any of this. We just can't. But what we can do is be aware and prepare however we need to prepare for our own mental status, I guess, if you want to say it like that. Everybody's level of preparedness varies where they're comfortable being. So go there and then just go one step further. That's what I, advise people to do. As far as getting food and stuff in case something bad was to happen, we should be prepped up a little bit anyway for storms or just natural stuff that happens, right? But yeah, so here's the 171. And you can see it open up here with a flare. Yeah, it looked more just like a CME. There could have been a small flare in there. But you can tell that now this is more, instead of just one main area, we're now seeing like 3 bright regions, and even this one. This is actually connecting to this a little bit. Okay, it's arcing over like that. It's arcing this way. It's arcing everywhere. So we're going to have to watch this one, though. I've seen these things grow really, really quick and just start going crazy. But I just want to, Thanks, Pamela. Hey, Craig, what's up? Yvonne. Angela. I think I said hi to Julia already. If not, hello. Melissa. Quiet Storm. Quiet Storm, that's a good comment there, because some people are more sensitive to this stuff than others. I'm very sensitive to stuff like this. I'm actually, there's a anomaly with a human being. I think I've mentioned this once before. I can give myself goosebumps on cue. I don't have to have anything happen. I can actually make myself get goosebumps. And they've done some studies on that, and only 1 in every 1,500 people can do it. I just thought it was normal because I've always been able to do it. I can actually pick out one little specific spot on my body and make that one spot get goosebumps. I guess it's my irrelevant superpower. I don't know. But it's kind of, it's kind of odd, because when I show people that, and I'll show them, and anybody asks, I'll do it right in front of them, because it's not hard for me to do. I don't even really have to think about it a whole lot. So, that is what it is. Okay. Where was I going to go with that? Oh, I wanted to go back here for a second. Okay. When that thing screwed up, that's when I was getting ready to show you guys something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this Enlil model. Now this Enlil model, this one here, I'm going to put the chat away for a second. This one here is Noah's version. And what you're going to see all these flares start popping off, guys. Okay, and it's going to give you a pretty good look at what's going on. So I'm just going to let this play. Watch what happens. That's the sun. That's the earth. Okay, you guys seeing all that? I guess I could get you back out here now. I mean, look at that. Boom, 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 boom. I mean, that's rapid fire stuff, guys. I think the number came in. It was like in 2 days we had 10 C-class flares and 2 M-class flares. So, those aren't chumps, okay? Now, I did see something interesting here that I think we should talk about. And it is this. Let me get it to where... And so I'm going to zoom in. Okay, do you see this? I don't know really why that does that, because if you think about what's going on here, daggone it. If you think about what's going on here, if it's blowing this way, then why is it arcing the opposite direction? So the only thing I can come through with my mind here is that it's actually, blowing harder on the edges. That's the only thing I can come up with. So, because it started doing it from the get. It wasn't like it got out here somewhere and then did that. But I just, that's backwards of what I would think it should look like, because the rest of them are arced that way. And the majority of the other CMEs we've seen on this tool before, look, this is arced, that's arced that way. Why is this one the opposite? Just curious, I don't really know why, but my guess is, just to get blatantly obvious, but the only way in my mind, it has to be blowing harder here on the sides for it to do that. Plus, guys, I want to address something too about an interplanetary shock wave. Magnetic shock wave. They caught that for the first time in 2019, I believe, and they were able to see it. So that happens. And what it is it's when faster solar wind or charged particles catches up with slower stuff in front of it. Now, it's like a collisionless reaction. The magnetic fields of each one of those atoms are actually interacting with each other, and they're pushing against each other. Okay, so it causes a shock wave when they finally get close enough. And if it happens at the right time, it can actually add strength to what we're seeing. But yeah, that's what an interplanetary magnetic shock wave is. It's not just a simple blast from the sun causing some kind of shock wave throughout our solar system. That's not how it works. You can go look it up in the definitions and stuff, but that's what it is. I've shown it so many times, the study and everything with it. But, yeah. So, let me take you guys, what can we expect? Okay, that's another question I get, guys, from you guys. So, I like to show this when we're having these kinds of events. And you guys can go look at this for yourself. It's at NOAA Space Weather Scales. It's over at the Prediction Center, just where I take you guys a lot, Space Weather Prediction Center. That's all you got to do is put that in your search bar, and you'll find this. This is at the bottom. It would be down in here. Of any page you go to at Space Weather Prediction Center, it'll be at the bottom. Anything you want to get to. But this right here is an S1, and they're talking about solar radiation storms here. These are the levels and what can happen. All right. I think that was a solar one. Yeah, it was. But you also got radio blackouts. Okay, so they tell you like an R5 is extreme, obviously, but what we can expect to see if we end up getting something like that. Now, they also got geomagnetic storms, and that's why I'm showing this to you. This is the G-level storms and what can happen during each predictive level. Okay? You see what can happen. I'm not going to read it all because it's a lot to read, but it progressively gets more and more intense, and obviously. It's like a tornado warning system, watch to warning, to tornado watch, to tornado warning, to tornado emergency they have now. If you guys ever hear that word tornado emergency and you're anywhere near that, you got to get your butt below ground or you're not going to survive. That's pretty much what they tell you. We're talking F5 tornado stuff there, but just thought I'd throw that out there. But you can see this, right? I mean, this is the progressive up. Okay, seeds. So, let me show you the Sundiver. This thing was cool. I have to admit, this was cool. This was a cool one. Now, you see it right here, right? And I've shown you guys Sundivers so many times, right? But this one's a little bit different. And I'll show you why in just a second. Let me get this zoomed in for you. So, remember, guys, this here is an occulter. The surface of the sun is pretty much right here. The circle kind of in the middle. Well, I can show you the red one. That's the surface of the sun. Now, this is also a good way to show you why we look at this one and we see a lot better over here. See what you can see here compared to what you get when you look here? All right, this is just a little dot with a little tail on it over here. But that's just the way it interprets it. Okay, now watch the flash here too. See that flash? That's because we had another CME. Or an eruption of some sort going that direction. That was at the end of the day. That was just a few hours ago. I'm going to stop it on that just because. Okay, so there it is. So is this one coming at us too? I don't know yet. I'm just going to have to wait and see. But this is, yeah. And again, let me say this. Most diving comets and stuff that dive into the sun, they don't actually make it to the sun. They typically will get burnt up before. I'm sure there's those outside chances that it does actually hit the sun. What's it going to do to the sun? Absolutely nothing. It just won't. It would take something a lot bigger than that. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. Let me take you to stereo A. This is our view, right? Let me take you to a side view from another satellite. And believe it or not, it showed up here. Now, can you see it? Can anybody see it? It's only there for a second. So let me pause it and I'll show you what I'm showing you here. Okay, you're going to see a little bright light here, and you're going to see just the slightest of intensification right there. I can't even. The only reason why I went and looked is because I knew that Sundiver was there from the other one. But it's here too. It showed up here, so that pretty much, there was no doubt it was a Sundiver anyway. But this actually, it's just cool. So watch right here. You see that? So let me zoom in again. I'll get you guys back over here. And see it right here? That's that Sundiver. I can't even believe I've seen it, just to be honest with you, because that is, wow. I mean, I couldn't believe I even seen that thing. But it falls right in the same location it should be to be that Sundiver. And look what happened over here. Okay? What's that look like? Looks like that Sundiver, right? So that's what it is. But yeah, I just thought it was cool. I wanted to show you guys. I always show you guys those anyway. Actually, that's in reverse. I need to reverse that. This is a little flash. So, yeah. So, let's go back to LASCO C2. Now, remember, this is our view. It sits on this satellite, Soho. It's always looking at the sun, and it's in that orbital line. See that? But it stays with the Earth all the way around. Stereo A and Stereo B are about 2 months on either side of us. Behind or ahead of us. Okay? So, there you go with that. Now, again, there was another CME right at the end there, and I'm not sure if it's coming at us. Hey, good to see you, Susan. So, yeah. Now, where was I going to go? Oh, okay, I don't need that anymore. Let's go to... Well, let's take a look at the earthquakes first. I want to make a couple comments here that I've been noticing. You see this? That's an earthquake. And we had one about a week ago in the same exact spot. Now, what I'm talking about, why I'm even speaking about this, is the distances away from all these plate boundary lines and fault lines and stuff is significant. The whole time I've been doing this channel, I've only seen a few earthquakes here, and we've had 2 of them in like the span of a week in that spot. Plus, we're having other ones outside of these plate boundary lines and fault lines and all the above. I think that's significant, guys. I really do. Because it's easier for the Earth and stuff to move on those, or not the Earth, but the crust or whatever has to move to cause these earthquakes. It would be easier to move it right where it's the weakest, which is where the lines are. So yeah, hey Steven, what's going on? Good to see you in here. I ain't seen you in a minute. I think I seen Keith in there too. Good to see you, Keith. Karen, what's happening? Jay, what's up? So yeah. I don't really have much more to add on this right now, but if we do get all this space weather coming, you can bet your butt we're probably going to see some upticks. Hey, Rampage, what's happening? So let's go up here, and again, they're talking about the same thing I am, pretty much. the whole community is going to be. Now, they did name that spot I showed you guys. Okay? So this is the one that's giving us all the issues. This is the one we're going to have to keep an eye on. So as we're looking at this, they basically tell you exactly what I just told you about the 10 C-class flares and so on and so forth. Sorry. Now, remember me talking about noctilucent clouds, right? Well, they're here. They showed up. And it looks to be like they're pretty close on time. So all's good in that range. This is going to get more and more and more. We always see that. It fluctuates. For those that don't know what a noctilucent cloud is, it's a blue-looking metallic cloud that forms in the highest parts of our atmosphere when water vapor gets high enough and it freezes around meteor dust that hangs around our poles. Okay? And I know that that's a whole lot of whatever I just threw at you. Essentially, it's water gets high up in the atmosphere and it causes ice around a meteor rock. Dust. It's pretty much what it is. It takes moisture to do that. Now, that only happens in the summertime of each pole. Because in the winter, things get a little bit drier, right? I think most of us know that. That you don't get as much water or humidity in the air. So there's not enough vapor there to cause a whole lot of noctilucent cloud activity. Obviously, the temperature would be there. That's not going to change. It's so high up in our atmosphere that it's really cold up there. No matter what time of year it is. So, yeah. So, I would encourage everybody to keep an eye on this too, because this does help us see things and look at things in a different way. So, yeah. Here's all the fireball reports. Notice they're all coming basically from the same direction. That's typically what we see. Hey, good analogy there, Sid. He said, yes, it's like a desert. Exactly. Exactly. The desert, guys, for people that don't know this either, the desert gets really cold at night. In the summertime, when it's really hot in the deserts, the sand will hold on to some of that heat, or quite a bit of it. The heat actually comes from the ground up sometimes. Well, a lot of the time. Instead of what we typically think about, ground down. Now, this up here, guys, was back on the 20th. This is what the noctilucent clouds we got going on right now. See? It's starting to uptick. Stuff is actually, doing what we're doing, right? So, that's what these are. What it can help us understand is, climate. Because the climate has to be, summertime for these things, and they should show up roughly about the same time every year in each pole. And when they don't do that, like this past year, they were 2 weeks late in the south. And that's significant. Plus, they were seeing these noctilucent clouds up in Argentina. That's way far north. And there really shouldn't have been much going on there. As far as for noctilucent clouds. So that tells me that the meteor dust is actually went a little, somehow it got pulled further north towards the equator. And then, because of where it was at, it was able to get up there and freeze and cause these noctilucent clouds. But they were 2 weeks late down in the south. Now, this year is not, this season for the north, it isn't anything different than what we typically would see. At least from what I can understand. Now, we got coronal holes too, I'm going to touch on here too, because these are just as significant a lot of times as CME, solar flares, filament releases. These definitely will send solar wind your way. And it can be, some high winds there. And that a lot of times we get our geomagnetic storms from these coronal holes. I've shown you guys holes that take up, half the sun pretty much. So, yeah. I'm going to take this back a day because if you guys go over here to spaceweather.com, I encourage everybody to do this because this is a great site. They do a wonderful job over here. Go over here to the archives and I'm going to take it. You can go back to any day you want and it'll show you what was there, what they were reporting on that day. So I'm going to go back one day to the 24th because I want to show you guys something. there. Oh, go back another day. Sorry. There it is. This flare that we've been talking about, the bigger one, it was loud enough that the radio burst from it was loud enough it drowned out a local thunderstorm. That's big time. Plus, it was on the night side. So, if you guys want to know what this sounds like, I guess we can play this. Okay, there's normal sound. Now watch. I'm going to be quiet here for a second. You guys hear it slowly getting louder? Let me fast forward this. Well, don't let me get there, I don't think. Anyway, go over and check this out yourself because it gets really, really loud. And it overcomes the thunderstorm that was there. It's kind of crazy. So I would encourage you guys to go check that out too, just because it's neat. So, yeah. Yeah, Sid Top touches on something there. Guys, check your notifications. If you want to be notified, check them again for me if you would. Because I've been getting people telling me that they didn't get notifications. So if you go to you click the bell, and you got to click get all notifications. If you don't, hey Dana, what's up? Hey Becca, what's up? Watchwoman, hey, what's happening? If you don't, you only get periodic notifications. So if you want that, I'm not saying you have to do that or anything like that. I'm just saying if you want to get the notifications, it's best is to check it once in a while. I've been myself have started not getting notifications to some of the channels I go watch, and I didn't change it, but YouTube changed it for me for whatever reason. I don't know why. But yeah, that's what happened. So yeah. And I guess what we'll do here, guys, is we're going to end with this right here. This is what we're going to be talking about, guys. This geomagnetic storm levels. Please go check this out. Here, I'll tell you what. Let me put this down here. That way you guys can go look at it anytime you want. There it is. There's the link. All you got to do is click that link, go over here, and then create a shortcut on your computer or your phone. And all you got to do is click it. And this will get pulled up for you. Remember, you got to click on the Geomagnetic Storm tab if that's what you're looking for, or you can look at radiation storms levels or radio blackout levels. Okay? So, yeah. So there's that. Now, I do want to check the Discover data one more time before we get out of here. Where'd I put it? I think I X'd out of it. Hold on. So let's check the conditions right now. Yeah, guys, I mean, I have a hard time thinking, yeah, look, we're starting to get impacted right now. And why I'm saying that is the BZ's reacting, the phi angle's reacting, the solar wind and the density are both going up at the same time. A lot of times they're going opposite. And I've explained that before. I'll explain it in a different video again. But when they're both going up at the same time, typically that means we're starting to get impacted by whatever's coming. And it's a slow little uptick here. So, and unlike what the Enlil model here is showing us, like these CMEs are combining, which definitely could be happening. I'm not saying that it's not. But I think we're going to get like a few different blasts from this. It's not just going to be one blast and we move on. Okay? So, yeah. But yeah, it's definitely something that we're gonna, like I said, keep an eye on here. I'll try to keep everybody updated. And again, remember this right here. See how they all are kind of spread out, but then a few of them did catch up with each other, and that happens. And that's exactly what causes an interplanetary magnetic shock wave. Okay, when something faster behind catches up with the slow stuff in front of it, when they start interacting with each other magnetically with their magnetic fields, it's a collisionless reaction. They're pushing against each other, and it causes a shock wave which can intensify whatever is hitting us or wherever it's at. So yeah. So something else I'm going to say right here is when we're getting this stuff, especially right now, this time of year, it can actually help form hurricanes and tropical cyclones. Okay? So we got to keep an eye on that too. It can actually intensify those that are already there, developed into that. We've seen it a bunch of times. So yeah. Oh, I did want to mention something else too. If you guys go back to my last video, I pinned a comment, and it was I think the guy's name was Mark. I can't remember what it was, but go back and read that. And if you guys are interested in trying to have a conversation with him, you guys know I'm starting that second channel, and he has some beliefs and some research he's been doing for a very long time that he possibly could have a discussion about with somebody else live. I don't want to call it a debate unless they agree to like debate rules, but at the least it would be a conversation with back and forth and all that kind of thing. And I would just be moderating. I wouldn't be adding to the conversation at all. So I think that's good for all of us if we can start making this happen. I would do that kind of thing right here on this channel at first and post it on the second channel. But once that second channel starts building, that kind of stuff will go strictly over there. I believe he said he was a flat earther and has, he doesn't think sun's in space and all those things. But, again, if somebody wants to have a discussion with him, we can make that happen probably. And we'll be respectful, guys. That's what we do here, right? We're not just going to start calling people names and all that kind of thing. We just don't do that. I don't allow it. So whether you agree or disagree with whatever belief system it is or whatever, I just think it would be interesting to see two different sides of whatever subject we're talking about. Flat Earth, Mandela effect, heart, all those things, right? Any questions we got, we can have a discussion about it. And I would step back and I would just moderate, make sure things are, equal time for each speaker and all that kind of thing. Nobody talking over each other, nobody getting disrespected personally. Like I say, guys, I encourage discourse, respectful discourse. Challenge each other's ideas. That's how we grow. That's how we learn. So, and try your best to go into any conversation with an open mind. Now, again, like I said, I'm not a flat earther. I mean, I've said that a bunch, right? But I'm willing to have somebody be able to come on here and talk about what they believe and whatever evidence he has, and to have somebody else that has that believes in the globe model kind of be there and they have a conversation. That's all that's about. So if you go back and look at that, he wrote a lot in that thread. So, go check that out. And if you're interested in any subject line, let me know, and I'll try to find somebody on the opposite end of the spectrum for you, so you guys can have a conversation. And I think it can help the audience, is what I'm trying to say. So, anyway, yeah. So go check out that comment. It's pinned in my last video. Let's check this one more time, then I'll get out of here, guys. I know I kind of went longer than I really wanted to here. Where's the discovered data at? There's that Sundiver again. What did Good to discover that it's down here. Okay, yeah. So let me update this again. Let's see if it's still trending that way. Looks to be. Okay. Yeah. So I would say we're probably just now starting to get into whatever we're going to be seeing, right? They're saying we're not going to be to a KP of 5 until 1800 hours, which is what would that be? 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. UTC. So that's actually like 2 p.m. my time on Eastern time zone. So yeah, guys, thanks for being here. I hope I helped you guys understand what's going on right now. You guys got any questions? Throw them at me next video and see, or send me an email. We'll see what we can do. Try to get somebody some answers and all that. But I really do want to get that second channel going, guys. I think it would be beneficial. I think it would be entertaining also. You know, you learn the most when you're being entertained anyway. That's why teachers use that to help people remember. But, yeah. Also, I took a screenshot of this, and I'm going to compare it to actually what happens and see how close they got. I'm just curious. So, anyway, guys, I am going to go ahead and get out of here. God bless. Yahusha saves. And thanks to all my mods, all my subscribers. Hit that bell if you want to. Please check and make sure you're still clicked on. Because people have been telling me they weren't. So, God bless. Yahusha saves. And you can drink this.